Greetings and salutations.
But I was told that I could listen to the radio at a reasonable volume.
A bunch of slap-jawed faggots around here.
Advertising has us chasing cars and clothes. Working jobs we hate so we can buy shit we don't need.
What is it? The stuff that dreams are made of.
Man, if you're gonna be staying here, you're gonna have to follow some rules. Which is no smoking my shit, don't let me catch you drinking my shit, and if you bring any of them hoes up in here, make sure I fuck them first.
Oh, that feels good.
I can always smell a graveyard.
You're the Antichrist.
The wave of murder which is sweeping the eastern third of the nation is being committed by creatures who feast upon the flesh of their victims.
Here there be monsters.
Oh, well, who wants to live forever?
$6 and my right nut says we're not landing in Chicago.
This is crazy. You want me to hit you?
That's right.
What, like in the face?
Surprise me.
You're going to learn to obey me.
Don't be such a fucking smartass, will ya? I know the fucking guy 35 years. I'm gonna fucking whack him for you.
Can't eat it, drink it, fuck it, or fire it. I ain't interested.
Brother, life's a bitch. She's back in heat.
It's not in your best interest to disconnect me. Someone could get hurt.
The pilot says there's a crack in the engine, but not to worry, he'd take off anyway.
Death from Within from Megadeth, and that is how we kicked off the 2016 year in heavy metal, my people out there. Good to see you. Welcome back to another episode of Metal-O-Mania. That again was Megadeth, Death from Within. That's off of the brand new album Dystopia, released on January 22nd this year. And that is going to be how we kick off our show tonight. Tonight is going to be a look back on 2016, actually. It's going to be a look back on the resurgence, in my opinion, of thrash metal in particular. We're going to get all over the board a little bit, but it's been a big year for metal. If you're a metal fan out there, you know it's been a big year. A lot of the legends from way back in the day have come back and put out 2016 albums, and we're going to play through some of them for you tonight. You may notice that I'm here alone tonight. My man Gonzo couldn't make it into studio, but we love you, Gonzo. Thinking of you, sir. But in his absence, we're going to play a little bit harder style of a show tonight. We did scrub out a lot of the Gonzo songs. As you guys know, if you watch the show on the regular, Gonzo brings a lot of the whiskey rock and hard stuff, but I like the thrash, baby. I like the thrash. I like the harder-edged music, and we're going to highlight that tonight. But welcome back. You may also notice, if this is your first time watching this, or I'm sorry, if you're somebody who watches on the regular basis, I no longer have my massive Grizzly Adams beard. I'm very happy to report that I was able to survive No Shavember. But we did it for a good cause, and I hope you guys were listening. And just because November's over, still go get your balls and assholes checked. Trust me, it's a good plan. But again, welcome back. Episode 13 of Metal-O-Mania. Very excited to get you guys. Our viewership is blowing up, and you guys make me very happy about that. I can't tell you. I had the belief that the metal scene needed a show like this, and you guys are reaffirming my belief in it every week as our numbers just jump. We're getting watched in South America. We're getting watched in Australia. We're getting watched all over the country. Again, my one viewer in Arizona, I don't know who you are, but I love you. We got one Arizona guy or lady or woman every single week. One Arizona. But I love you for watching. Keep doing it. And I hope you like the playlist that we got tonight for you, because I'm very excited about it, actually. We have literally got legends from the 80s that put out thrash metal albums. You know, as we go through December, I'm going to play for you a lot of the highlights of 2016. A lot of the, this is what made 2016 not only a great year in metal, but the year that Metal-O-Mania showed up on your little Google box there. So we're going to celebrate that for the next 4 weeks with you motherfuckers out there. Hope you join us for the ride. And on that note, let's continue. I got lots to talk to you about tonight, but let's get it in between some jams. That was your Megadeth. That was January 22nd of this year. Like I said, that was the year that my Scully's birthday, actually. And that album, Dystopia, I'm telling you, the last few Megadeth albums before that, I myself didn't care very much for. But Dystopia is a badass album. Get it. It's worth giving a listen to. And it kicked off our year. It kicked off our year exactly how it needed to be kicked off, with some slam and thrash from some legends. And from some legends, we're going to go to some lesser-known legends, but in my opinion, legends nonetheless. I got next for you. They released a brand new album January 29th. Been around since 1986, though. But January 29th of this year, Prong put out a brand new album. Their 12th studio album, actually. And I'll tell you what, 9 of them you must own. There's 2 or 3 in there. But 9 of them you must own. In particular, Beg to Differ. But that's another story, another song for another night. So let's go ahead and move on to jam out a little bit more. I'll be back with you. We'll talk some more metal. Until then, let's play some Prong, Ultimate Authority.
Consequences of the will of the right. Disharmony within the law of life. Deserving everything that you are owed. Severity, a basic moral code. right. Disharmony within the law of our life. The non-acceptance of reality. Accept the ultimate authority. The consequences of the will of the right. Disharmony within the law of our life. The non-acceptance of reality. Accept the ultimate authority.
Yeah, I held this pose through the whole song for you. Metal Out. Prong. Good song. Ultimate Authority. Off the brand new album, actually. Came out January 29th, but brand new 2016 release. It's called X, No Absolutes, their 12th studio album. Worth a purchase, my friends. You will thank me later. You will add me to your Christmas card list if you get that album, because it's fantastic. I love their crunch, man. Crunchier than Frosted Flakes before you add the milk, baby. But let's move on a little bit. Actually, first of all, I forgot to mention my co-host is here. One of our co-hosts is here tonight. Kurt Nobrain. Say hello to the people. It's all right. Kurt's glad to be in the house. He misses Gonzo, but he'll be all right. We're giving him liquor in between songs, so he'll be fine. Also, I want to point out my badass shirt that Scully got me. You guys, check it out. It's two things that I love combined into one shirt: Slayer and the Orioles. Thank you, honey. Shout out to Scully for the Slayer shirt. And we do have some Slayer song, a Slayer song set up for you for later in the show. So you're going to like that as well. All right, but I told you at the opening, we're doing a look through 2016 and a lot of the legends of metal. But the next song I have lined up for you is one of two exceptions to the playlist tonight. Later we have an exception because I have to play an old school song, man. I got a Black Sabbath song lined up for you later. I can't wait to play for you. Got to do it. We have to have that old school song at least once a week, or else I feel like I'm failing you people. But also, the other exception is our next song, because this is a band that's brand new. They have not been around since the 80s at all. They've been around since last Tuesday, I believe. But they got a brand new album out. It's their first full-length release. It's a 2016 album. The album is called, what is the album called? Oh, it was called Annihilation. No, it's just Product of Hate, I guess. I don't take very good notes, apparently. But it's the band is called Product of Hate. They're a badass band, thrash music out of Wisconsin, which just proves that apparently them cheeseheads know how to jam, brother. But again, let's go ahead and play the song. Instead of tripping over my words and telling you false information, we're going to play a song off of their album for you. Product of Hate, Annihilation, bitches. Oh, man. I tell you right now, I hope you guys dug that song as much as I do. I'm really digging those guys in the new album. Who needs coffee and speed when you got that shit to play? It's better than it, I'm telling you, and healthier, too, except for your neck. I got a little bit of a sore neck from banging my head through that goddamn song. But I hope you guys dug it. That is, again, Annihilation from Product of Hate. Brand new album. Came out February 5th this year. I suggest you get it, and get it quickly. Quickly also, join us on our social media shit. Again, I tell you guys every week I'm an old bastard. I know very little about the social media stuff. I have youngins that take care of that thing for me. But that doesn't mean I don't want you to join. And he does tell me what you say, so I can get back to you. It's through a third party, that's all. But hit me back. Join us on our Metal-O-Mania page. We got a page and a group on there on Facebook. On Twitter, we are Crypt and Gonzo. That's CryptNGonzo. Our Twitter, that was our Twitter, Crypt and Gonzo. We're on Instagram, Crypt and Gonzo on there, Metal-O-Mania on there. But get in there, interact with us. We can take your requests and play them, you guys. I got a few lined up for next week, actually, from my boy Clay out there in Metal-O-Mania land. Thank you, buddy, for being a friend of the show. We will play your music, my friend. I promise you. But let's move on. That's all our social media shit. Oh, also, you know what? We have an announcement about some show changes here at Radio VPS. If you've been tuning in the last week or so to catch the CNC Fantasy Football Factory, it is temporarily on hiatus. We're going to bring it back the first Saturday in January. It's going to be a full-on sports show. It's going to be the CNC Sports Factory instead of the Fantasy Football Factory. It'll be me. My man Bean will be in studio with us, and we're going to talk sports at you guys. Uncensored, shooting from the cuff, tell you what we think about stuff. Hopefully you guys will call in and participate like you were with the fantasy thing. It's just with the fantasy show, as people fell out of their fantasy leagues, I don't think you guys wanted to watch our show anymore, you bastards. So we're going to change it up a little bit for you, and we're going to rope you back in to do some sports talk with us. And, Bean will be here, so you don't want to miss that. Bean's a good dude. Bean knows his shit. Also, the Metal-O-Mania page is staying here. We're staying around forever, Wednesday nights. There's talk of Gonzo moving. I'm not going to get into it too much, but there's talk of Gonzo moving. We'll see how we got to play that out as we go forward. But we might be doing auditions for you sons of bitches to get you in here and do the metal show with me. I enjoy doing it by myself, but it's a better show when it's two people in here bouncing off each other. But I hope you stick with me tonight anyway, because I got some goddamn fantastic music for you, I promise. You're going to be happy with the jams. And speaking of jams, let's get another one queued up. This band actually been around since 1981. They're literally legends. They're obviously part of the big four out there. And, of course, I'm talking about Anthrax. The brand new album, fantastic. In fact, I'd be hard-pressed to find an Anthrax album that I don't like. There was a couple I don't like as much, but I like them all. But I'm going to tell you what, the last two in particular, Worship Music and 2016's February 26th release called For All Kings, fantastic. This is their 11th studio album, just absolutely brutal. And I'm going to tell you, the song we're playing tonight is called Blood Eagle Wings. And they got a video for it, and you have sold yourself short if you have not gone to make a point of YouTube in this video. It's unbelievable. It's brutal. It's bloody. It's nasty. It's got a little funny hook at the end to it, and it's fantastic. And it's the return of metal, and that's what we're celebrating here tonight. 2016 release of Legends from Anthrax. Let's do Blood Eagle Wings. Metal out. And that is Blood Eagle Wings by Anthrax. Badass song, badass album. Must get it. Again, came out on February 26th as we make our way through the year. That was 2016 in thrash metal. Again, tonight we're concentrating mostly on the legends that are still around doing their thing. Sorry, guys, I'm an old dude. I like the old stuff. And it thrills me to the bone that so many of these bands from our early days are back and doing it and bringing good metal. And, you know, as many of you know from watching in the past, I'm very critical of some of these guys and their attempts to make some of the metal. Some of them should just go away, probably. But I'm happy when they do it, and they do it in a way that makes us metalheads proud, especially us old-school metalheads. And Anthrax certainly has in the last couple albums especially, man. I'll tell you that. For All Kings, just start to finish. Fantastic album. Got to get it. But we are going to move on from that. You know what? I'm very excited about the next song that I got lined up for you. This band is very weird. I'm going to play some weird Canadian prog metal from some weird Canadian prog metal legends for you. Every time I think of this band, Voivod, I think of my man Evan. Shout out to my man Evan out there. Love you, buddy. My buddy who I grew up with, we got into metal together. We went and used to hit the Prince George's County Plaza together and just, man, I don't know what the statutes of limitations are on theft, but boy, we used to steal the shit out of cassettes in that place. We would go in there with a list in our pocket. All right, man, you got to get this, this, and this, and I got to get this and this and this. We had one of them big boom boxes with the 2 cassette players in it, and we used to go home, and I'd copy what he took, and he'd copy what I took, and, man, we grew a hell of a metal collection that way, buddy. Shout out to you, Evan. But one of our discoveries, and many of these are discoveries from that back in the day, but one of them in particular is Voivod. We fell into them, the Roar album that I want to say was 1985 or 6. I'm sorry, I don't have that in front of me, but very early 80s. And if you listen to Voivod at all, you know that their early stuff is very, well, it's before its time. It's very deathy around the edges, especially the Roar album and that era. Very deathy, very bordering on the beginning of what would become technical metal, in my opinion. From song to song, they can sound death metal, they can sound technical, but through it all, they're weird. You know, I'm sorry, but the best word to describe these dudes are weird. Me and Evan, like I say, got into them together years ago. What's funny is in our very first episode of Metal-O-Mania, back when you guys, or us guys, didn't know what the shit we were doing in here, we were coming in here trying to figure it out on the fly. We had a Voivod song from the Nothing Face album lined up to play that night, The Unknown Knows, and we ended up not getting to it. The format I brought it into the studio was wrong. We couldn't play it. And, of course, you know, as shit goes, it never ended up getting played. So we have yet to play a Voivod song, and I'm going to fix that right here and right now. This is actually from a 2016 release of theirs. It's just an EP, but it's a fantastic EP. Voivod, been around since 1982. Do have 13 studio albums out. That's a lot of shit to go through, and, man, I'm telling you, from album to album, they can be very different. But, again, let's get our weird prog Canadian metal fix on tonight. Let's do Voivod 2016 Post Society. Enjoy.
Carbon fibers round till masters.
Damn, they're weird. I swear. I'm sorry. It's just the best word I can come up with for Voivod. I really love them, but man, they're weird. They're just so hard to pin down to a genre. But again, welcome for joining us. Thank you for joining us. Excuse me. I was just texting during the break with my big brother Bob. Thank you for watching, sir. Bob and the family are watching. Bob and the girls, love you guys for watching. Thank you. I'm going to talk about Bob here in a little bit. I got a song coming up later that I will never hear without thinking of my brother Bob, because honestly, my love of all this music you guys are listening to right now is largely due to me back in the day breaking into my brother's room and listening to all his records when he wasn't home. But more on that later. But love you guys. Thank you for hanging with us. But that was weird-ass Voivod. What'd you think of that, Producer B? What'd you think? Weird? A little weird? A little weird. But makes me think of Evan, man. Me and my buddy Evan saw them live, and we were just a little, I'm just going to say we weren't of our right mind. I'll leave it at that. But so seeing weird-ass Voivod while a little spaced out, too, it's an experience. I highly recommend. You can see them before they die, because them sons of bitches are old like me. Moving on. You know what? Another legend band I got lined up for you guys. A band that I have loved all my life. And, you know, there's certain things in the universe that are just supposed to be. You know what I mean? They're supposed to be what they are. And one of the biggest things in my world, in my thrash metal music world, is that Mike fucking Howe needs to be singing for Metal Church. All those other guys, there was some good albums in there, don't get me wrong. But Mike Howe is Metal Church. And when I first heard that he was returning to do a new Metal Church album for a 2016 release, well, let's just say it took up some extra room in my hands. It was causing me pains in my hands. Took up extra room in my fur the loom, as it were, because I was excited. Because, man, I tell you, some of the early Metal Church stuff, man, that's my heyday. That's, you know, some of my earliest mosh pits wherever, you know, I think I broke a rib I broke a lot of bones at Metal Church shows. But Mike Howe's back, and I'll tell you what, man, the new album, there's some weak albums in there, I'm not going to lie to you, especially through the late 90s, and, you know, there's some weak Metal Church albums in there that I don't recommend. But they're back. They're back with their 11th studio album. It is a 2016 release. It came out on March 25th of this year. The album is called 11, and it's fucking Mike Howe, the way it's supposed to be. Finally, some things in the universe, the way they're supposed to be. Let's jam some of it right now. Killing your fucking time. Mike Howe on vocals, Metal Church.
Of your life crashing down, and no one seems to give a damn.
Oh, man, get that album today. I'm telling you. Roman numerals 11 is what it is. Metal Church. Get it today. That album smokes more than a joint at a Bob Marley concert. I'm going to tell you right now, start to finish, baby. Get it and thank me later. Just, man, fantastic. Mike Howe, it doesn't get any better than that, man. I hear that new album. It's new and it's fresh, and it also still brings me back to the first Metal Church with Beyond the Black and all that stuff. Metal Church. I'm trying not to tell you metalheads what I'm talking about there, but get it and get it now. Trust me on this. That is a tip from your buddy Crypt here. Get the new Metal Church. Matter of fact, get all these albums, man. Honestly, we're going to play a little Metallica later off the new album. That's going to be my cover, Crypt's cover for the night. We're going to play the Metallica's version of Remember Tomorrow of Iron Maiden later in the show. But I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to be very popular for saying this. And if Gonzo was here right now with me, we'd probably be arguing about it, but I don't love the new Metallica that much. Death Magnetic was fantastic, man. I loved it. I thought it was awesome. The new one's just, it's not a terrible album, don't get me wrong. It's worth your purchase. I see it's selling, like crazy. It's breaking all kinds of, metal records as we speak. And it's worth it. I mean, it's a solid album. It's just, I'm a lifelong Metallica fan. And it's not, that vein. It's not, it's more, if you're a Metallica fan, I put the new album more in the same file with the Black Album than I would Death Magnetic or than I would Master of Puppets or something like that. It's more in there with the Black Album, maybe Reload. As we talked about last week on the show, Kirk Hammett was left out of the writing process for some reason. The only reason I can come up with is because Lars Ulrich is a dick. But, and that seems to be the case. Kirk Hammett is speaking publicly that he's not happy with the way they excluded him from making the new album. And I think it shows. He brings the harder edge. He's the guy that has the Exodus background, never forget. So, I think the album is like Gonzo said, it's a solid heavy metal album. If you're looking for it to be a landmark thrash album, you're going to be disappointed because it isn't that. And thus, tonight I'm playing you, again, the Legends of Metal. We're kind of going in the order that they came out this year for the most part, with a few exceptions. But we're doing that, we're playing through the year of metal, and we've gone through and picked out bands that have been around for 20, 30 years that are showing they still got the chops, man. They're bringing out 2016 albums that are worth purchase, that are worth buying, that are worth iTuning up, that are worth going to the gym to, that, as you can see by my figure, I live at the gym. But they're great albums. But when it came to picking the Metallica song, because I felt like I had to include a Metallica song in a show that does a close of great thrash albums, there's a lot to be read into the fact that I chose their cover of the Maiden song, and I'm going to go ahead and leave it at that. And that's coming up later, but it's fantastic. It's a fantastic cover of the Maiden song, Remember Tomorrow. But that's not yet. We're not there yet. I'm getting ahead of myself, as I'm good for doing. Scully's giving me that look like, yeah, I know. But, what's funny is I had to include this song in the show because to not include the new Flotsam and Jetsam album in a show that reviews the 2016 thrash year of Legends, and again, to me, they're Legends. I know a lot of you guys missed out on the Flotsam and Jetsam thing. We've talked about it in previous episodes. This is going to be, I think, our third Flotsam and Jetsam song we played already over our first 13 episodes, but you got to do it. If I didn't include this album in this show, I would be doing you guys dirty because it's a great album. The new Flotsam and Jetsam, fantastic start to finish. I highly recommend it. It's self-titled. It's Flotsam and Jetsam, Flotsam and Jetsam. I don't know why bands do that with their, this is their 12th studio album that they came out with. But it was released on May 20th, so we are now into the spring of thrash metal of 2016. Let's go ahead and get out the fucking flower power and play Flotsam and Jetsam, LOTD. Enjoy.
Filled with the world's outcast, deployed to desperate regions of
not just Flotsam, but Jetsam too. A little bit of that for you. They've been around since 1981. You believe that shit? And they are still heavy as a blunt rolled by Gonzo, baby. And that album's fantastic, I tell you. Good albums. 2016 has me so excited that the metal thing has returned, man. I mean, it went and grunge killed it. I've had conversations with some of you on Metal-O-Mania page on Facebook. I've had conversations with some of you guys on the Twitter back and forth and shit about, oh, metal never died and all that. And I love you guys for saying it. I do. But metal died for a minute, man. Metal was on life support at least. Grunge came along, and everybody wanted to hear his predecessor, and I don't know what the hell it was all about. I don't get it. I still don't get it. I still don't understand the whole movement. And for someone my age, I know I've told you a little bit about this before, but for someone my age, it was a overnight thing. Yesterday, all my buddies had long-ass hair. They all had jean jackets on with Venom patches and Slayer patches and Megadeth patches. They all had jeans on with holes in the knees. You know, various assortments of chains and whatever the hell else hanging off of your body. You know, our hair was usually longer than our girlfriend's hair. That's the era I come from. So it was disconcerting for me when literally overnight I looked around and all those long-haired guys they're wearing flannel shirts all of a sudden with thermal underwear showing up underneath of them, Dockside boots, you know, whereas yesterday they were screaming, I'm angry and I got some adrenaline. All of a sudden they were like, I'm really sad. I'm really, really sad. Can we talk about my feelings? I don't want to talk about. And let's look inward. I can't conquer making it a better world until I look inward. And I hate all that shit. And that's what this show represents: is the death of what tried to kill us the first time. Fuck that grunge crap. Fuck Kurt. Look, I'm so used to saying Kurt No-Brain that I can't remember his real name. Kurt Cobain, right? Cobrain. Whatever. The dude that used to bang that Courtney Love slut. Whatever. That shit is awful. We have no love for it here at Metal-O-Mania. Kurt No-Brain, he is the representation of what is now in place of what was then. And that was my Play-Doh moment for you for the night. We're going to move on. Now I'm going to play for you an instrumental, actually. Destruction is the band I got lined up for you next. They have been around also since 1982. Yes, I know, the year that my Scully was born. Whatever, kiss my ass. But Destruction is a band. They're pretty legendary in some circles. I like a lot of their albums. They got some great stuff. I'm not a huge fan of the vocals on occasion, which is why I chose to go with an instrumental off of their new album for you. Destruction has a brand new album out. It came out on May 13th of this year. The album's called Under Attack. Again, legends. They're legends of the genre, no matter how you slice it. We're going to open up with a instrumental from them. We're going to play a Gojira right behind that, and I'll be right back after that. But a Gojira we'll talk plenty about. Probably the most requested band since we started this fucking show. So there's some lined up for you bitches. Just wait a second. Kick it off with Destruction. We'll be right back with you.
negotiate as a traveling comedian is hotel rooms that don't, charge you money, or worse, yell at you and call the cops if you smoke weed in the room. I've been caught like maybe 3 times over, the past 72 years of comedy, and because I always put a wet towel down the crack of the door so the weed doesn't seep out into the hallway and offend anyone's nostrils. And I open a window, if there's a window you can open. And, I try to blow it out the window, and, if people are walking by, I wave. But here's the thing. Recent game changer in the world of smoking, vaporizer pens. Yeah, a little pen that looks like a pen that you smoke out of, and you're just smoking vapor. So you can smoke it pretty much anywhere. You could take a hit of the vapor pen, just kind of blow it in the air, dissipates quickly, nobody knows what you're up to. Yeah, it's such an awesome, amazing thing. So now I just sit in my hotel room, smoking my vapor pen, and I blow it right into the smoke detector. I just sit there going, what do you think of that, smoke detector? You enjoying all this vapor? Why don't you go back to detection school and learn how to detect vapor, and then we'll talk, you piece of shit.
Originally called Godzilla, that is your Gojira. They changed their name to the Japanese pronunciation before they ever even went into the studio. That's a little sneak preview of where we're going next. That's all. That's a little teaser for you bitches. But man, Gojira, I since we started the show, the #1 requested show on the Metal-O-Mania page and the Metal-O-Mania group. When I see people in the street, Gojira, play me some goddamn Gojira. I recognize that I'm slow to the Gojira thing. I know Scott Tipton, friend of the show, I'm giving you a shout out right now, but he's been pushing them on me for a while. I'm slow to get there, but I'm getting there. That song was badass. That's Magma. Magma off their brand new 2016 release. The album is also called Magma. It was released on June 17th. It is their sixth studio album, and it's worth getting, man. It's fantastic. It's very moody. It's very eccentric. One song to the next is very, very different. Like, I chose a pretty chill one to, for our break tonight. I thought it went well with the Destruction song we played before it, but get that album. And for all you people bitching at me to play Gojira, I just fucking did it, all right? Get off my sack. I'll play some more in a couple of weeks. Hey, man, this is a sloppy fucking show, I've talked about it before. We do the sports show we do on the weekend. We polish that sucker like a pearl. We're making it bigger and better and making it polished. I don't want to do that with this show. This is a fucking metal show. It should be dirty. It should be sleazy. It should be guttural. It should be uncensored. You're lucky I ain't never showed you guys my balls, but hey, we'll see how that goes in the future. I'm not doing it tonight though, because I know I got family watching. But so don't even write in. I know all the Metal-O-Mania things on the Facebook page is already like, show your balls. I know you fucking sick, twisted bastards, and that's why I love you. But also, before we move on to the next song, I want to talk a little bit about Once Drowned from last week, man. We broke a fucking band from local Southern Maryland last week, played them on the air for the first time they've been played on the air anywhere. My buddies down south, Once Drowned, they got a concert coming up this upcoming Tuesday. That is in Lothian, Maryland. Bayfront, 81 West Bayfront Road, Lothian, Maryland. $5. $5 fucking dollars, man. There's no excuse not to get in there and get your metal on. And they're playing with some good other bands, man. They got the Black Matter Devices in there. Acura, Aluka's playing. Vesta's playing. Get there and check out that band, them bands. $5, man. And I'm going to tell you what, I've known the drummer for Once Drowned for a long time. Good fucking dude, man. Check them guys out. They're definitely post-hardcore, verging on some of the, the metalcore sound that is big. And honestly, as we look for maybe if we're going to fill another chair in here for the Metal-O-Mania page, if you have some knowledge of the metalcore, post-hardcore scene, it won't hurt you. I'm just going to tell you that. It won't hurt you. Because that is an area of metal that I personally am a little weak at, so maybe I can get an expert in here to help me out, and they'll cover that into things. I am a thrash crossover guy. That's my wheelbarrow there, my wheelhouse, my bread barrel, as it were. So you'll notice that I'm playing a lot of the gods of thrash even as we go tonight. In fact, I'm so excited about the playlist tonight, though. It's a strong playlist. Great songs for you guys, man. I have people tell me all the time how, oh, man, I like to put on the metal show and go to the fucking gym. And I kept that in mind this week when I was putting the songs together for you guys. Good workout songs. And again, follow us, Metal-O-Mania. We're all over the social shit. You can find me. We even posted one of our shows to YouTube. Did you know that, Producer B? I posted one of them to YouTube just to play with it. And it's getting some views. It's trying to get some views over there. But another thing that's kind of fucked up, though, now that I'm bitching a little about the internet, I tried to create a Wikipedia page this week for our show. I went on Wikipedia. I went through all the ridiculous guidelines of writing up a Wikipedia page on the Metal-O-Mania show. I put the background into it. I put links to this website here. I worked my butt off on it. They rejected me, man. They rejected me. They sent me a thing saying you need to do this, that, and the other. It might be a matter of context or a matter of me leaving shit out, or I don't know, but I'm pissed off. Kiss my balls, Wikipedia. Because we are certainly noteworthy. I am noteworthy. I keep saying we. Oh, it's me and Kurt. Sorry, Gonzo's not here tonight. He don't get no credit for not being here, you bastard. But I still love you, sir. All right, well, let's continue our tour of metal. Let's go ahead and jam out. Again, go see Once Drowned Tuesday, Lothian, Maryland. Next up, I have a band been around since 1982 again, man. You'll notice that's the theme of the show all night long. They released their most recent album on May 27th of this year. The album is called The Evil Divide, and I'm going to tell you right here and now, I can't get enough of it. If you were an early Death Angel fan back when they came out in the early 80s, probably you liked them. I certainly did. But they were very raw. You know, to say that they were capable musicians was probably a little bit of a stretch, especially early in the, you know, when their song On Board was really big. Not very, again, I love the song for its rawness and its aggression, but it's definitely lacking in the musicianship. But let me tell you what, 30 years has a lot to do with fixing that kind of thing. They've been in the metal field for 30 years now, and man, they've come a long way as musicians. They've come a long way in their writing of songs. And I personally think The Evil Divide is amongst the best albums of the entire year, at least, the 2016 resurgence, as it were. So let's go ahead and cue up some Death Angel. We're going to play off of The Evil Divide, Father of Lies. Be right back. Did I tell you? I mean, that you listen to that guitar solo, it's hard to believe those are the same guys that played On Board back in the day. They have come a long, long way. And The Evil Divide, it's literally a must-own album. You have to get it and put it in your iTunes yesterday. And if you want good workout music, man, I'll tell you what, that album shreds from beginning to end. Fantastic. Death Angel. Brand new 2016 release. And we appreciate it. But you know what? We're going to move on now. And what we're going to do is tell you guys a little tale about your buddy Crypt here. It starts way back in 19 blah, 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 in Prince George's County, Maryland, where I grew up at. Loved it. I grew up in a good neighborhood with good people and a big brother. My big brother Bob, we're going to talk about. Bob was the guy who turned me on to everything, to be honest with you. I don't think I'd be sitting here playing this music for you today right now if it weren't for my brother Bob. And the reason is, now not necessarily with his approval, because often I heard the music I grew to love by breaking into Bob's room and playing his albums when he wasn't home. And boy, did he want to kill me. He wanted to kill me every time I did it. But, you know, he also is the guy that bought me my first metal album. He bought me, which was a Black Sabbath album. He also bought me a Van Halen album at the same time. Van Halen, Black Sabbath, and yes, a Huey Lewis and the News album. Kiss my butt. I was a little kid. I loved it. And I appreciate it, Bob. But he's also the guy who gave me my first ever heavy metal shirt. I can't remember if he bought it for me, if it was one of his that he gave to me, to be honest with you. But it was a Black Sabbath shirt. And it said, it was the Heaven and Hell shirt. It said, I'll never forget. I'll picture it for the rest of my life. It said right on the front of the shirt, the world is full of kings and queens who blind your eyes and steal your dreams. It's Heaven and Hell. Obviously, quote from Heaven and Hell by Black Sabbath song. Bob, I don't know if you realize how responsible you are for turning me on to my early days of music, man. Through you, I learned Sabbath, which to say I love Sabbath to this day would be the understatement of the century. I was turned on to just everything, Ozzy and Foghat and Three Dog Night, man, and some his collection was eclectic and it was fantastic. And as his younger brother, I thought he was near godlike for owning it, and I couldn't wait to get my hands on it and listen to it as often as I could. Early softer stuff too, Journey. I mean, everything. The Jay Giles band. I mean, literally everything all over the map. He had the baddest music collection in the whole neighborhood, and I was the dude fortunate, as what I'm going to call it, enough to be able to break into his room and listen to his records all the time. In particular, one time, I think that pissed him off that I used to listen to his records all the time, but it really pissed him off. One day when I was in there, I took his goddamn candy bar. I know, Bob. Sorry, buddy. I still, to this day, I owe you a candy bar, man. I did take it. We had hell in the house, and I denied it, boy. Deny it till you die. But I took it, Bob. I'm sorry. Yeah, I know it was like 35 years, 40 years ago, but still, whatever. Who's counting? But I love you for it. I love you for the turning me on to the music. I love you for the fucking the albums and the shirt and all that. And I love you for another thing too, and that is this next song. Every time I ever heard it in my lifetime, I think of you, man, and I smiled my motherfucking ass off because it's one of the greatest songs of all time. So, man, it doesn't get much better than to have you thought of when one of the greatest songs of all time is played, and that's where I put you, sir. So let's go ahead and celebrate that thing. For my big brother Bob, I'm playing this, man. Black Sabbath, Heaven and Hell, greatest of all time, D.O. Just classic. And again, I played that for my big brother Bob. And you know what else? I talked to him a little during the break. We're going to work out a deal on this candy bar thing where I owe him. Because what we're going to do is get you metalheads who are going to contact Bob and do your taxes through him. Hey, you need your fucking taxes done, don't you? I got to take off my glasses for this. But you can contact Robert E. Grant and Associates in Ellicott City, Maryland, 410-719-8866. It's almost that time of year, fellas. You give it over to Crypt's brother. This is my blood we're talking about, so you know you can trust him. I'm a metalhead, and I'm telling you, trust brother Bob. He'll take care. Get it together like my big brother Bob and take care of your fucking taxes, would you? Robert E. Grant and Associates, Ellicott City, Maryland, 410-719-8866. Tell him the Crypt sent you, and he'll take care of you. But thank you for joining us for that. Black Sabbath, man, doesn't get any better. We're going to move right along because I know I'm talking a lot at you sons of bitches tonight, and I'm going a little over on time, but I don't care. I'm going to keep it to my producer here till midnight if I got to. Hey, don't throw shit at me. So let's move on. We're going to continue our tour. our recap, as it were, actually of the 2016 thrash season. The next song, I'm actually glad Gonzo's not in the studio for, because if you watch the show, you know we battle all the time. He can't stand Slayer. I fucking love Slayer. I live, eat, and breathe Slayer. I have broken more bones, taken more scrapes, taken more injuries in Slayer pits than any of the other bands all combined. And it's worth every bit of it because they put on a fantastic show. Here they are. They've been around since 1981. Slayer's been around since 1981. They've put out this most recent album, which I think they put out on September 11th of this year, and it just shreds. I took my oldest son to go see the concert when it came. They were with Testament and Slayer together. I'm going to represent both of those bands on our playlist tonight, and we're going to kick it off with Slayer right now, man. They are this old, and they are still motherfucking repentless. Enjoy that shit. Repentless, Slayer, still bringing it after all these years, man. Just one of the most blistering bands on earth. Can't get enough of it. Get that album, man. It's called Repentless, just like that song. It's the 12th studio album from them, released on September 11th this year. And I'm going to tell you what, the videos they have out for that song and Take Control is another one. I think they have a third video, actually, even now. But, man, the videos are fantastic. Danny Trejo, I'm a big Danny Trejo fan. And apparently Danny Trejo's a lifelong Slayer fan. They got him in the new videos and shit. It's really cool. Check it out, man. Lot of fun. A lot of fun going on in the metal world today. The Repentless album, fantastic. You know, just some of the songs we played already tonight. and some of the songs we got coming up next. Actually, we only have a few more left on the playlist for you for tonight, but I'm excited as hell about them because it's a continuation of what's happening in the metal world today. Next up, even crossover kings to me. Anybody who knows me knows that crossover in particular, that good blend of punk meets thrash metal, it does it for me. I'm a big DRI fan. I'm a Municipal Waste fan. I'm a, Suicidal Tendencies, who we're about to play some of. I'm a Cryptic, my brain fried on me, but I'm a Cryptic Slaughter fan. I am, I love all that shit. DRI even. DRI has a new EP out, which I bought on Amazon, and I'm going to tell you real quick about that. It's called, but wait, there's more. The EP on Amazon is only like $7, which is pretty cool. But the entire thing is 10 minutes. 10 minutes, the whole thing. 2 songs out of 5 are new. The other are retreads of old shit. And you know what's fucked up is, as a DRI fan, I'm glad to have it, man. The first DRI shit that's come out in 20 years or whatever. So, yeah, I ponied up for the $7 for the damn thing. I had to do it. And I've only listened to it once. It came today, as a matter of fact. It showed up today at my mailbox before I left to come to the show. Otherwise, I would have queued one up for you tonight. But I will play something off of it for you next year, if not a couple, because they're short. But, crossover's my shit. And speaking of crossover, Suicidal Tendencies are right there in, legendary status of the genre. They are icons of the genre. They're right there with the DRIs, in my opinion, Corrosion of Conformity and all that kind of stuff. And Suicidal Tendencies, man, I like the punk stuff. I like the crossover stuff. I like the stuff that's more mainstream metal. I love their Infectious Groove stuff, which throws a little bit of funk into the whole thing. I think they do it all well. And I definitely highly recommend the new album. The new album is called World Gone Mad. As you know, if you're a metal fan, they've been around since 1980. Back in the days when I Saw Your Mommy and Your Mommy's Dead. They're a different band these days than they were then. Neither good nor bad. They're still fantastic. All that was fantastic. This is fantastic. But this is off of their 13th studio release. It just came out, actually, on September 30th, so it's only been out for a couple of months. And we're going to play the title song off of the new album for you, World Gone Mad. Ain't that the truth?
And I don't know why.
Gone Mad. Oh, man, I love the new Suicidal Tendencies album. I'm going to tell you what. In my personal opinion, the last couple before that had good, strong songs on it, but were not solid start to finish. I'm liking this album more and more as I listen to it, so I definitely think you guys should go out and get it. Get it and get it and get it well. I said before the break, I think that it was their 14th studio album. That is their 13th studio album. I was thinking 14th because sometimes I do count Controlled by Hatred Feel Like Shit as an album, even though I know it's a whatever. It's an EP, mini-release, re-release type of thing. Whatever. It's an album. It's got new material on it. I counted it. Sue me. Okay, but moving on. You know what? I am fucking excited about the next song, too, because these dudes have been around forever. Well, no, actually, they haven't at all. They were around forever ago, and then they were gone for 30 years. 30 years. They went 30 years without putting out an album. And then, boom, out of nowhere, 2016 release. What the hell? They were formed in 1979. The funny part about it is they used to be kind of the butt of jokes in the metal world because even though their music was solid, they put out the video for See You in Hell. And I know many of you metal fans now know who I'm talking about. Grim Reaper. That's right, Grim Reaper. Grim Reaper had 3 studio albums back in the day. Obviously, the biggest of which was See You in Hell with the song See You in Hell on it. And it was a big metal anthem, really. I mean, it's a classic metal anthem song from back in the day. And we all loved it. And you know what did them dirty, though? Grim Reaper was the victim of the invention of video. Because the dude, how do I put it kindly? The dude came out in the video for See You in Hell, and old guys like me know what I'm talking about here. He had that thick red spandex, that tight-ass red spandex thing on, the face of a pig, and it was ugly. I mean, it was ugly. There's no other way to get around it. It was ugly. It was terrible. It became the butt of jokes. This guy's a singing pig, singing the fucking See You in Hell song. And they kind of got shoved into that afterthought box really quickly. And, of course, shortly thereafter, they kind of disappeared. Matter of fact, as it turns out, they didn't kind of disappear. They disappeared entirely for 30 fucking years, as it would be. But then, out of nowhere, boom, here comes a goddamn... Now, they are called Steve Grimmett's Grim Reaper now for the new release. The new album is called Walking in the Shadows. It came out in September. I just recently got my hands on it, actually. To be honest with you, it slipped by me somehow, and I'm a little ashamed to admit that. I consider myself on top of the metal scene, and Grim Reaper of all people, they were a pretty big deal for at least a minute back in the day. But I was really excited to play this song for Gonzo tonight because me and Gonzo used to talk about and make lots of jokes about how Video killed them, but they were a pretty good band, but Video came along and nobody wanted to see them anymore. They would have been better off going the Tool method with their videos and never putting people in it and just doing, art and crazy shit like that. But we are going to celebrate their return tonight. Not quite as hard a song as some of the other stuff I played tonight, but, I like all kinds of metal, and I'm hoping so do you. And this song, of course, every song they've ever done has the word hell in the title, and this one's no different. Let's play 2016 release from Steve Grimmett's Grim Reaper, From Hell.
Backstage, the last word I tell you, it's a gift, just in spite.
Grimmett's voice hasn't changed a damn lick in 30 years. I'm going to tell you what. You hear that, you know exactly who it is right away, don't you? Old Grim Reaper, man. I'll tell you right now, that takes me back. It takes me back. Back in the day. Little crappy pen joints and chasing the girls around for them to say no over and over and over again. But good times, man. Good times. I think of those days fondly. Not very often. Who the hell has time to do that? Nostalgia's for people who got time on their hands. You know what I mean? And I no longer have that. Because I'm trying to bring the metal to you guys out there, man. I'm putting my effort, asshole, and elbows into this thing because I love that we're building the following that we are. I love that our numbers are growing the way that they are. I love that we're the most podcasted show on the Radio VPS network. I love that we're the first international show on the Radio VPS network. And I love that every week when we look at the numbers, they're just blowing up, man. Because that means, you know, you guys want to do this thing. You guys want to get in there and get the metal back out to the forefront. We want to sweep all that grunge thing, that grunge mistake we made for a little while in the 90s. Let's get out our brooms. Let's sweep it away like it never existed and put metal back in its place where it belongs, where it's supposed to be. And there's a lot of badass albums coming out right now to help us do that, man. You know, it'd be one thing if we were just sitting here with our dicks out talking about, man, I wish metal was cool. No, metal is cool. Let's get it back out there. There's good shit being made. But next up, we're going to play, I made this promise to you earlier that we were going to play, you know, as we're going through all the legends of metal, playing something they've released recently as opposed to their old stuff. And we would be remiss in our duties if we didn't play something off the new Metallica. You know, it's brand new. It's a big deal. It's very well produced. It's a solid heavy metal album. I'm not knocking it beyond that, really. The things that I personally, and this is very much you listen to it and make up your own mind, obviously, but the things that I personally look for and enjoy in a Metallica album and song, I find to be lacking a little bit. Again, just my opinion. You're welcome to call me an asshole and tell me I'm totally wrong. In fact, Gonzo loves it. My buddy Matt Bohr out there, who I talk to about Metallica all the time on Facebook, he loves it. So maybe I'm in the minority. Obviously, I'm in the minority even because it's selling like crazy. So I find it to be a solid metal album. I don't think it's particularly special. I don't think it's particularly noteworthy as like a great landmark. You know, I'll take the new Death Angel over it. I'll take the new Suicidal Tendencies off of it. To me, the new Slayer is just phenomenal album. You know, so, you know, it is what it is, though. It's a solid release from a solid band. It's, again, very well produced. You know, you can tell every song is, you know, crisp and clean and everything is put together very nicely and almost too much so for a metal. I digress. Let's go ahead and play. This is Crypt's cover of the week. And again, if you watch the show every week, you know that I like to do at least one old school jam, which we did earlier with the Black Sabbath. And I like to play at least one kick-ass cover of a band doing another band's song and doing it well. And that's what we're going to do with the Metallica right now. We're going to play a cover of Iron Maiden's song, Remember Tomorrow, off the brand new Metallica. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I do. Check it out.
return from out of the fire.
Remember tomorrow? I barely remember yesterday, but I'll let you know about tomorrow when we get there. I hope you guys enjoyed that song. It is, again, the Crypt Kick-Ass cover of the week, Metallica, Remember Tomorrow by Iron Maiden. I do like it. I do agree with some of our feedback we're getting right now. It's polished. It's a very polished album. Again, almost too much so. It's, again, you got to make up your own mind. You listen to it. You tell me what you think. I, myself, of all the songs we're playing tonight from the Legends of Metal with their 2016 releases, I put it behind most of the other ones. I'm sorry. I know I'm probably going to get kicked in my face by some of you metalheads for saying that, but if I didn't tell you the truth, I'd be doing you dirty. So I won't lie to you. I respect you sons of bitches too much to lie to you. It's just okay, man. It's just okay. But hey, it's a metal album, so buy it. Throw some more money in Lars' pocket because he needs it. Anywho, unfortunately, that does bring us ever closer to the end of another episode of the Metal-O-Mania show. And I got to tell you, I love doing this thing with you guys, man. I started doing this with Gonzo, as you know. Well, hopefully, as you know, if you've been hanging with us for a while. And honestly, my viewpoint was then what it remains now. If this ends up being 20, 30 people watching us every week, and that's all that we were able to accomplish with it, I was going into it thinking, that's cool. If I was sitting at home playing music and had 20, 30 people coming over every Wednesday to play the music I was choosing and telling them to turn them on to some good metal, I would be cool with that, to be honest with you. So the fact that it's actually starting to blow up is pretty goddamn crazy, and I'm loving the shit out of it. I got to tell you, people, it's fun. I love coming in here. I love doing it's a lot of work. Believe it or not, it's a surprising amount of work to put together a 2-hour show for you. But I love every bit of it. I love pulling the pictures together. I love choosing through the songs. I even love, and let me tell you, while I'm praising the metal we're playing tonight, there's some god-awful metal being made as well. And, of course, it's my job. I got to go through that shit and listen to it, look for the pearls and the dog shit, if you will. And, man, there's some awful stuff. For every one really, really good metal song I'm able to bring in here and play for you, man, I'm trudging through just dozens of things that are just garbage. But it is what it is. But, hey, you know what? What's not my cup of tea might be somebody else's. Obviously, somebody else likes it or it wouldn't be out there. So it still reinforces to me that metal has returned. Metal is back, man. It's making a second life coming of it. Hey, as someone put it earlier that I was talking to, it's that turd that when you flush it just ain't going to go away, brother. It ain't going nowhere. It's coming back. Coming back at you. So enjoy the smell and enjoy the ride, and do it with us here at Metal-O-Mania. Catch up with us on our social media sites. And while you're doing that, support our shows here at Radio VPS. I'm going to give you a quick rundown of what we got here, just so you know. The Cuban Cigar Smoker and Friends show is Mondays, 3 to 5. DJ Setfire, my man DJ Setfire, is live in here Mondays and Wednesdays, 5 to 7. Super good dude. He does it upright, man. Burns the place to the ground. BK's Finest, Mondays, 8 to 9. Another fantastic show. Three's Company and Friends Unplugged on Tuesdays, 8 to 9. Good advice show. We got the OG Hoodfellas show. That is a return of some of my favorite people in the world are on that show. You got Producer B on there. You got DJ Reg. You got King Dave. Is King David on that show? No, King Dave's on his own show. But you got Los. You got my man Los out there. You got Big Ray. Love all them dudes. Check out that show. Crazy Crizzy. And, of course, Thursday night, you do have King David's show. He has his own show on Thursdays at 8 to 9. He is one of my producers on my shows. Love the dude. DJ Reg, he is on. DJ Reg, you're on every show now, ain't you? I think you just Radio VP. I'm going to just call you Radio VPS, man. But hey, I appreciate what you do, my friend. Wouldn't be able to do it without you. We also have Tequila No Chaser. That's a new show that we have on Thursdays from 9 to 10. The CNC Fantasy Football Factory that is currently running on Saturdays is on hiatus just for December. It's going to come back retold for January. It'll be me and my man Bean coming back, talking sports with you guys. It's going to be the CNC Sports Factory. Kind of a recap, uncensored sports view. Looking forward to doing it with you guys. And, of course, the most important show of all, this one right here, Metal-O-Mania, Wednesday nights, 8 to 10. Live, 8 to 10. But don't forget, if you miss us live, we ain't going nowhere. We are archived. You can go on our website, hit the on-demand button, scroll down the screen, and you can see all the old shows, and you can flip through them and watch them all, man. You can go back and watch old episodes of this show, and I highly recommend that you do, because I'm there. What the fuck? Why wouldn't you do that? All right. Well, I guess that does bring us to the end of another episode. I want to thank you guys for joining us. I want to thank you listeners out there who are helping make this thing. It's really turning into something special, and it does my heart good to see the metal making the return. So we started the show strong tonight, and we are going to end the song. I should have maybe cut out before the last song, huh? I lost my voice, lost my talking. We started the show strong tonight, and we are going to end the show strong as well. Brand new fucking Testament. It is the most recent of all the albums we're playing. It just came out on October 28th. It's their 11th studio album. The album is called Brotherhood of the Snake. It being the newest, I haven't had the chance to listen to it as much as I have some of the other albums, but I'm going to tell you right now, already it's in my top 3 for the whole entire year. It's solid. It's Chuck Billy at his best. Back from kicking the shit out of cancer. Much love to you, sir. And this album's just badass. It's badass start to finish. Great guitar work. It's just phenomenal. So we're going to close the show, and I hope that you guys come back and join us next week, and we're going to do it again. Until then, enjoy some Testament. Stronghold, Brotherhood of the Snake. Come back next week. Love you for watching.
Fighting for your life, we're fighting for the reptiles.
Vanity. Definitely my favorite sin.
Who are those guys?
These guys are trained to be ghosts.
We taught them to do it, for Christ's sake.
All I've ever known to be true is a lie. He's throwing boxes of shit at the guests!
We don't even know what the impact is of what we did.
Nice beaver.
Thank you. I just had it stuffed.
Let me help you with that.
Are you sure you wouldn't like to stay just a little while longer?
There was no way I was going to walk around this place with my dork hanging out.
It's a sick question. You're a sick fuck, and I'm not that sick that I'm going to answer it. I'm not telling you anything. You got to be a stupid motherfucker to get fired on your day off.
You're in more dire need of a blowjob than any white man in history.
I got to put this asshole back together.
What do you think about that tasty beverage? It's fucking good, sir. It's fucking crystal. Everything else is piss.
I want the people to know that they still have 2 out of 3 branches of the government working for them, and that ain't bad.
Come on, Soundbar, let's get the fuck out of this fucking jib joint with this fucking faggot Dante. You cock smoker. Elvis has left the building.
That's all, bitches.
You're listening to the best Radio VPS.